Right, and we are live. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm Stuart, and this is MLM for CEOs, the channel that is aimed at providing key insights to company owners operating within this lucrative multi-level marketing space. I'd like to thank our sponsors, NetReady, for making this episode possible. This episode is all about doing the due diligence that you should be doing on your MLM software before you get started. Here to help me unpack this information is a man with over 35 years experience within the MLM industry and running software. His name is Richard Sletcher.
Hey, how you doing?
You good?
I'm good. Forgot that festive season is over and I'm still wearing my red shirt. So next week we're back to white, eh?
Do you know, I love the festive season. It's time with family. It's time to just relax, kick back a bit. Obviously, we've carried on with all of our episodes. And I appreciate you still in the festive spirit.
Yeah, what can I say? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, but next week,
back in the white shirt.
In the whites. Okay. So Richard, let's talk about MLM software. It's the backbone of your business. It's the system that everything runs and operates on. How important is it when choosing your software to do the due diligence? That's quite a tongue twister.
Due diligence, yeah.
There you go.
The DD.
The DD. There we go.
Okay.
A lot easier.
Yeah. So look, this is something that I think a lot of companies overlook, because what happens is when you look at software, the company, whoever they are, does a demonstration of the software to you. And what are they highlighting? They're highlighting all the things that the software does.
Key features.
Yeah, key features. It does this, it does that, it does the next thing. And they go through this presentation and they blow you away, because obviously you've got all of these amazing things that the software does. The challenge is that there might be things, if you just say, oh, wow, that looks amazing, and for some reason you assume that obviously because it does those 99 things that you've just seen, it will do these 20 things that you haven't seen, well, then whose fault is that?
Sure.
It's your fault. You need to do your due diligence on the software. So what I would recommend is that you write out a list of questions pertaining to the things that you have to have, and you get answers on those before you choose a software package. So, for example, we've had a client recently, wonderful people, working on our system. There's two things that they needed, which we don't have. For example, they needed to have a special e-wallet, which people could then buy product using their e-wallet
The balance.
through the system with whatever commissions is sitting in there. Now, that is an absolute showstopper for them. They have to have it. But the NetReady system does not at the moment have it. Well, we're going to build it for them.
Sure.
But the bottom line is that that's something that we should have known up front, and it's something they should have known up front. Now, the reason we didn't know it, because the question was never raised.
Yeah.
The reason they didn't know it, because they didn't raise the question. They assumed that we would have it. We don't.
Yeah.
We had no idea that it was a requirement for them. So we don't have it there. So it is a real challenge. If you, as a company owner, don't do a proper due diligence on the software, then the company's, your supplier's not going to know what they're missing, and you're not going to know what they're missing. And so you've got no way of actually preparing yourself either to mitigate the problem or to get it developed before you go with the system, or to move with a completely different platform altogether.
Exactly right.
And so that is a discussion that you should be having up front. So we recommend to our clients that, listen, you need to do your due diligence, you need to ask the questions, you need to put a list of stuff that you absolutely have to have, find out whether that is what the company is offering, and if it is, then great. If there's stuff missing, can you live without it? If there's something missing, will the company develop it for you? What is the timeline for that development? And then make your decisions based on whether the system fits your needs or not.
Sure.
Because every single company is unique.
Yeah.
And
this is exactly what I was about to say. Every company is unique in the fact that they need certain things. There's unique selling points, USPs of what the company offers, and the system needs to accommodate. And if you do the right due diligence, the DD, there we go, then you can understand if the system can do that and go through that process, if they can develop it, and if they cannot, then we move on. And you find a system that can do it.
Yes.
the fact is that systems are built to do these things. And a lot of clients will come to me and say, well, why doesn't it do that? It does 99% of things. The question for the company owners is that a showstopper? Or can I just remove that for now, or put it on pause, put it on ice for now, and move forward with the software? So these are the questions you need to ask.
Yeah.
But I think putting a bullet list of absolute showstoppers, that non-negotiables, before you have, or while you're having this presentation with the software.
And for a company owner, you need to assume that the software provider has not met all your requirements. You have to assume that. And so you then have got to go through your entire process flow and decide on what those showstoppers are, and they need to be in your list. And if they're not in your list and the software can't do it, then there's only one person to blame, and that's you. Because it is your responsibility to do that due diligence.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that you want to add there?
Yeah, well, look, the second thing is that, and this is key, is that every single software provider has looked at the industry and has looked at the key ways or the best practice ways to do things. And they have built their software for best practice. So you also, when you're looking at the software, you need to ask yourself, is what I'm doing best practice?
Sure.
What are the problems with it? How would I like to see it done differently? Is having, let's just take the example of being able to buy your stock through your e-wallet.
Yes.
Now, that sounds like a great idea. But the question I would have is that best practice? Because now what happens is you become a distributor with us. At the end of the month, what you've done is you've bought all of your product out of your commission. So when it comes down to receiving commission, how much commission do you get?
I don't have any.
You don't get anything.
Yeah, I've got stock.
And what's happened is you've been smosing your stock. So you've been selling your stock and you've been getting cash for your stock, and that money's gone into your purse and it's been spent on bread and Coke and milk and whatever.
Yeah.
And you get to the end of the month, how much money have you earned?
Right. And you think, why am I doing this?
Yeah. And so now you don't realize that maybe you've taken $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 out of the business because you've been spending it as you've been going along. And so there's no real impact for your commission. Whereas if the company says, listen, you buy your stock with your credit card by paying for your stock, and at the end of the month, we give you a big fat check. Now suddenly you feel that injection of cash. You feel the success of the business. So again, that's a prime example of it's just one example.
That's
there's 100 examples here.
Yeah.
But the question would be, is this best practice? Should you be doing this? Yes, you can do it. And why doesn't Net really have that function in us? Because with 100% of our clients up to this point, the idea is you pay the commissions out, you let the people feel the money.
Yeah.
This is the first client we've had, obviously, that doesn't do that. Now, we will build that solution for them, but,
they need that big impact. I understand it, because this is the motivating factor for the network. It's one of the drivers, one of the 5.
And then the second thing is, obviously, you look at this and you say to yourself, okay, is this functionality worth hanging on to, in spite of that the system will do these other 10 things really well for us? And then you need to decide, do I go with another software package that does that one thing well and 10 other things really badly? Or do I go for this package that will do recognition and incentives and customer relations management and a really good e-commerce platform, etc., really well?
Yeah.
And have to live without that function. So again, part of your due diligence is to establish whether something isn't there, and if it's not there, to make the decision of whether you can live without it.
Yeah, I think you've given company owners out there an awesome understanding of what they need to do when approaching a software, which is going to be the backbone of your business. It's such an important decision to make. So thank you for that.
100%.
Okay, awesome. Guys, thank you for joining us for this quick episode. Why you should be doing a DD on your, do you see that DD?
Oh, got it.
On your MLM software before you make the decision to take them on as a partner. Please follow us on all of our MLM for CEOs channels. We're on YouTube. We're also on LinkedIn, and listen to us on Spotify. Welcome to the new year. We'll see you next episode. Cheers. Bye.